It's that 5 o'clock hour. Sit back, enjoy yourself, pour your favorite drink, alcohol, non-alcohol, whatever your flavor. No discrimination. Get your favorite snack and then just enjoy. Just enjoy the tune. So, music today is brought by Mickey Geiger. I'll make sure to tag him on our social media, all that good stuff. So, all right, guys. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the tunes. Hopefully, today I stay in picture because don't get me wrong, translucent is cool, but I like to control the translucent. I don't like to just go improv translucent. You know what I mean? So, I got my digital camera set up. I got the lights on, so we should be good to go. All right, perfect. So, June 4th, 2021. I can't believe it. This year is going by super, super fast. I know, I'm like a broken record. It's like, man, Kier says that all the time because it's true. And you know what, Wes? Time goes by also fast when your wife is pregnant. It seems like time goes by really fast.
At times, yes, it does.
For sure, absolutely. So, without further ado, welcome to episode 9 of Real Talk with Coach Q and
Broker Wes.
All right. So, we got a jam-packed show today. Definitely want to get to it. But before we do, for you first timers may not watch the show before, quick introduction. My name is Kieran McGlory. I am a realtor. I get the absolute pleasure of helping people buy, sell, invest in real estate. And I'm also a real estate coach where I get to coach agents, help them build successful careers, and all that good stuff. And now I'm going to let Wes give his quick intro.
Hey everybody, this is Wes Oliver, aka Broker Wes. I am a mortgage broker who likes to help families figure out what's the best way to deal with financing a home to fit into their overall financial picture. You can call me the mortgage guru, the money man, and back to you, Kier.
I love that. The money man, Mr. Money Man. Speaking of Mr. Money Man, can you lend me a stack? Can you lend me a stack, Mr. Money Man? All right, perfect. So we always like to start the show with bringing some success, some leadership, get your mind thinking, right? Because at the end of the day, we're all leaders. Whether you're the leader at your office, whether you're the leader at your home, or whether you're a leader all the time, right? You're all leaders. So today I want to talk to you about execution. Now, you probably know the term practice makes perfect, right? That's probably a term that we've all heard before. Have you ever heard the term of perfect makes perfect? No, you haven't, right? Because that's not true. Perfect doesn't make perfect. And I go back to execution because in order to truly become better at something, you must commit to execution. And what I mean by that, I mean to commit to execution, actually doing it, actually performing it. Because the true way for you to get better is by doing something, learning, and experiencing some failure, but taking that lesson and improving yourself and becoming better. So don't strive for perfection because what tends to happen is when we strive for perfection, we never attempt it, we never execute it. It's kind of like this term that Wes always used to say to me, and he still says it to me now. Oh, it's what say it, Wes? You say it much better than I do.
It's a perpetual state of getting ready to get ready.
Exactly. Get ready to get ready. And we hear it in our industry all the time with our clients, right? It's like, hey, have you submitted your documents? Oh, I'm getting those ready for you. You know, are you ready to go look at houses? Oh, yeah, I'm waiting for this to happen, or I'm getting ready to get this to happen, and it never happens, right? So focus on your execution. Focus on execution because that's really going to drive you to reaching your goals. All right, perfect. And Wes, do you want to touch on that a little bit regarding execution?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm reminded of something that I heard. I don't remember where I heard it, but it's a saying that goes, you don't have to be great to start, but you do have to start to be great, right? So many times when people are in that perpetual state of getting ready to get ready, usually what they're trying to do is they're trying to nail down every possible concern or every possible shortcoming, and they're trying to deal with it and trying to deal with it ahead of time so that once they start, they don't have to deal with any kind of pain, any kind of disappointment. Everything goes smoothly from start to finish. And the short answer is that you cannot do that. You just have to start, because you don't get to avoid pain. You don't get to avoid disappointment. Because if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it and everybody would be great at it. So yeah, just get started. Just pick a path and get started. Don't spend too much time thinking.
Absolutely. Pain is part of the process. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what it comes down to. Pain is part of the process. So, execution, people. All right. Now we move on to the main event. Now, this is the first time watching the show. Main event is something that's really going on with the news, something that's impactful. Sometimes it's real estate, sometimes it's just in life, period. So today, what we like to talk about is an article that came out on May 27th. It was from CNBC.com, and the article was talking about two major banks could start the foreclosure process as early as July. And when I say July, I'm talking about next month, July 2021. So the two banks that are thinking about it are J.P. Morgan Chase and Bank of America. Now, these are two of the largest banks in the world. Now, the reason why this is so impactful, obviously, number one, these are two largest banks in the world. But what we normally see happens is that when a large institution implements something, it usually tends to trickle down. And what I mean by trickle down, we start to see, smaller organizations follow suit. So with these two major banks making this decision, it's not uncommon for smaller banks to follow suit and do the same thing. Now, according to the report, it states that JP Morgan Chase, over 90% of the people have already started making their payments. And the same goes for Bank of America. We have over 90% making their payments back as well. So it would be a small percentage of people that are still on the mortgage forbearance. Now, Wells Fargo happens to be a bank that said that they're either going to wait to the end of 2021, or they're going to start as early as 2022 in terms of the foreclosure process. Now, Wes, what is your take on this?
Yeah, so I came across an article as well. One of the sources, which for me is Mortgage News Daily, and they were talking specifically about the numbers with the forbearances and where they are right now, and where they're headed. So right now, forbearances dropped by 71,000. So that's 3.2%. So people who are in forbearances, 71,000 basically came out of the forbearance. There's still 2.12 million people that are left in forbearance, and that's out of 53 million mortgages nationwide. Forbearance. There's still 2.12 million. There's 700,000 expiring at the end of June as well. So that could be a big month also at the end of this month. And so I would say this, because I know a lot of people are always asking me about distressed properties. Like, are we going to see more foreclosures? Are we going to see more short sales? And I think what's going to end up happening is you're going to see more listings, but not necessarily more distressed properties. Because as we've talked about several times on the show, a lot of people have enough equity in their property to be able to sell it and just get out from underneath it if they no longer can afford their payment. And plus, you also have to consider, I've talked to several people that are in forbearances that, quite frankly, were not having trouble making their mortgage payments yet. So there's probably a percentage of people that actually are going to be okay coming out of the forbearance. And maybe they went into the forbearance because they wanted to save some extra money in case they did lose their job, just basically take a financial vacation. But yeah, we'll definitely have to see how those numbers shake out and what goes on going forward. But again, I don't think you're going to see a lot of distressed properties, at least not here, in Southern California, more specifically Orange County. But you probably are going to see listings go up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. And you said financial vacations?
Yes.
Financial vacations. Interesting. How do you get a ticket to that, Wes? Yeah, Wes is like, yeah, it's probably not a ticket you want to actually buy. I see.
No.
I see. I get you. I get you. So what do you say to the people that think that we're going to see this huge wave of homes coming on the market? What do you say to those people?
Well, basically, I just try to explain to them what the difference is for those who are in a forbearance right now and those who were in foreclosure situations back in 2008. And actually, on my business Facebook page, I just posted a great video. You can find it on YouTube, and it tells you in less than 10 minutes how the entire crash happened in 2008. Now, the great thing about it is because, they say history doesn't repeat itself, but it does rhyme. So by studying what happened in 2008 and the circumstances that created it and looking at what's going on right now, you have to see, does it match up? Was it the same circumstances? What's different right now than what happened, you know, 13 years ago? And what you're going to find is that there are some pretty big differences. One being, a major one being, that people actually have equity in their homes right now.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of equity, and that equity is being generated by,
Cheers for equity, right? That's great for everyone that has equity. Absolutely.
yeah. So the equity is being generated by the fact that there are more people looking to buy a home than people who are looking to sell a home right now. But the key difference is the people who are buying these homes right now, they are qualifying and being qualified based on their full financial portfolio. No stated, very little stated income, stated assets, none of that stuff. W 2s, tax returns. Can you show the money? Can you show the consistency?
Show me the money. Show me
Always.
the money. Shout out to Jerry Maguire. Definitely one of our favorite movies. And I can
Yes,
say
and Rod
we,
Tidwell.
me and Wes, because we've had several conversations of Jerry Maguire. So absolutely.
Yes. But yeah, so there's just some key differences today compared to back then. And that's why I don't think you're going to see a lot of distressed property, specifically, like I said, in this area.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you for that, Wes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So another something that's been going on, we've seen in the professional sports athletes, mental stress,
Yeah.
and how, athletes are put on a lot of pressure. And, if you're not an athlete, if you've never been in that type of spotlight, it's very hard for us to understand, because a lot of us look at it, it's like, well, this person gets paid millions of dollars to
Hmm.
perform. Like,
Right.
okay, like, get over your feelings and get out there and do what you need to do,
Right.
right? But if you haven't been in that position where millions of people not only watching you, on TV, but also people around the world, people
Hmm.
sending you messages, sending you mail, your friends, your family, all these people, being the people that you support financially, right? Because a lot of these athletes are supporting other people. It's
Right.
very rare that it's just that one person that's supporting themselves. They're usually supporting a tribe. And
Right.
when I say a tribe, I'm talking about not just your mother, your father, your immediate family. It's usually supporting the whole family. You know what I mean?
Right.
Sometimes even like your extended family as well. So, we just never really think about, the pressure. And I'm guilty for that. Like, I've watched the TV and it's like, oh, I can't believe that person did that. That's
Hmm.
crazy. Like, how'd you miss that? And it's like, wait a second, you gotta take into account that, millions of people are watching this person. That's a
Right.
lot of stress, a lot of pressure on them. So I'm gonna let Wes talk a little more about mental stress and what we've been seeing in the news recently.
Yeah. So, I mean, here's the reality. Most athletes, most star athletes are okay with dealing with it. They have their support team, they have their PR person, their manager, all of that. So most people are okay with dealing with that. Like you could take Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had no issues with it, and Allen Iverson had no issues with it. Tom Brady has no issues with it. But some people, like we were talking about specifically Naomi Osaka, if you have specific mental issues, and it's an actual anxiety disorder or something like that, you might have to, for the sake of your health and your mental health, step away from that and remove yourself from that situation. So it's not necessarily someone, I don't look at it as a weakness or anything like that. We all have different levels of anxiety and stress, and we all process it differently. But the reason it came up to me this week, because last week she withdrew from the French Open, and it reminded me of some of the things that we go through in our particular industry, like where you have a client that has started the process to buy a home. They've started the process to go through pre-approval. Maybe they've been looking for homes several times, and at some point, it just gets too stressful, and it gets too disappointing for them, whatever. Like if you have been looking at homes and you can't find what you want, or you've been putting in offer after offer after offer and not getting your offer accepted, at some point the process really just does become too much to deal with, especially because you are not looking for a home or getting paid to look for a home 24 hours a day. You might have a family at home that you're dealing with, you have work that you're dealing with. So I think it's a great time, and it's going to be strange to hear somebody in our particular situation say this. But if you're in that situation where looking for the home, going through the process of buying a home has become a little too stressful to the point where you're no longer enjoying it, you can't focus on it, it's okay to step away. Believe me, I understand where the market is and how you can lose opportunities by doing that. But if it becomes too much for you personally to bear, have that conversation with your loan officer, have that conversation with your realtor, and they should understand. Like, hey, right now it's just too much for me to deal with. I really do want to do this, but right now I'm a little bit too disappointed. I'm too busy, whatever it is, and step away. It's the better way to deal with it as opposed to, still kind of going through the motions. Because eventually what's going to happen is people in our situation are going to do what we get paid to do, which is help move you toward the finish line. And that becomes frustrating when you're not 100% in it with your heart and soul. That's why I always tell people I cannot sell you a house. And the reason I can is because we have too many miles to go and too many hoops to jump through. And if you're not absolutely 100% in it, I'll never get you across the finish line. There's nothing I can do. It's not like I'm showing up to your house trying to sell you a vacuum cleaner, getting you excited for 20 minutes, getting your check and then running off. This is different. It's a long, sometimes painstaking process, and we don't know when it's going to end. So, yeah, so every now and again, it's okay if you're not ready to communicate that, because everyone's going to appreciate it. Yourself, your realtor, your loan officer. It's going to be better for everybody involved because they're not spinning their wheels. You're not being hounded or feeling like you're being harassed or whatever.
It's good, man.
Yeah.
Now, Wes, it would really take you about 30 to 40 minutes to sell a vacuum cleaner. It's crazy, man. When I was selling vacuum cleaners, I get it done in 15 minutes, but that's just me. But anyway, I'm being funny there, so you guys can laugh if you want, selling vacuum cleaners and so forth. But I mean, that's definitely definitely a serious issue. What you're talking about, and relating it back to our industry. I never would have been in a position to have someone think that Kier forced me to buy this house. Man, I really
Right.
didn't want to buy this house, but Kiera forced me to. And I never want to be in that situation because I'm a true believer in karma. I think what you put out is what you get. So for me, like I'd rather people be honest and just say, hey, you know what, I got to pull back. I need to take some time to decompress and really think about this. Because at the end of the day, we're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? We're still going to help you buy some investment real estate. I'm not looking at retiring anytime soon. Neither is Wes. We're both strapping young men, so we're still going to be in this industry for a long time. And for us, we have the opportunity to work with several different clients at a time. So for us, we never get to the point where we're only working with one person and have that type of feeling of stress, like, oh my gosh, this person has to do this, this person has to do this, because
Mm-hmm.
your clients can feel that energy on you. And in our industry, we call it something called commission breath. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I I tell my coaching agents this all the time. Like, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. I can hear it in you, man. It sounds like you got that commission breath, and you don't want to have that commission breath. That's why one of the things I always stress with my coaching clients is You have to constantly lead generate. Now, I know some of you guys may not be in the industry. What lead generation means is that you're out prospecting, you're out going after new business and new opportunities, whether it's through the phone, through mail, or out door knocking, or just walking around
Mm-hmm.
talking to people, right? You have to be doing this on a daily basis because, again, when you have a client that wants to pull back, if you know, for like mental reasons and so forth,
Mm-hmm.
you don't want to be that jerk. You don't want to be that person. Hey, tough it out. Let's just move forward on it because, again, you know, it just doesn't feel right. That's not good karma. We're not here to
Right.
strong arm people to buy and sell houses. We're here to educate our clients, to empower them to make informed decisions. So
Right. And I used to say, I'm not going to drag you kicking and screaming across the finish line. But I like that commission, Brett. That's pretty funny. I used to joke with sales reps. I'd say, hey, that fragrance you're wearing smells like desperation. Like having time.
oh geez, yeah, commission breath. That's what I heard from one of my mentors. Like,
Yeah.
don't get commission breath. Don't get commission breath. How do you avoid
Hmm.
yourself from getting commission breath? By constantly lead generating on a daily basis. So
Right.
yeah. So hope you guys are taking notes on that. All right, perfect. Now we move on to the next segment, and we're going to be going over the economy, most specifically the jobs report. So, Wes, start us out on the jobs report.
Yeah. So the jobs report was released this morning, and the jobs report is usually a pretty big indicator of kind of what direction we're headed in with the economy and the overall health of the economy. So we were projected to have an additional 664,000 jobs added for last month. We actually ended up with only 559,000.
Hey, it's not his fault. It's not his fault. Don't kill the
Right.
messenger.
So the unemployment rate didn't change very much. It went from 5.9 down to 5.8. So that's still about the same. Now the good news is the bond market rallied. So we saw a little improvement in rates today because of it. And then something that was very interesting is that the gains in the hospitality sector were pretty big. So they added another 292,000 jobs to leisure and hospitality.
Definitely, they need that. That's great. I love that.
Yeah. Now, on the other side, we're about 2.7 million short of where we were pre-pandemic on jobs in those particular areas.
Mm.
But we know that's going to get a lot better as, obviously here in California, June 15th, that's the day everything opens up. We're going to be back to normal in a lot of cases. So we'll see those numbers continue to grow and grow and grow as more people are vaccinated and we return or get closer and closer to returning back to pre-pandemic normalcy or insanity, however you want to look at it.
Definitely looking forward to that. I'm sure a lot of us out there are definitely looking forward to going back to some form of normalcy. So, yeah, thank you, Wes, for sharing our jobs report. Absolutely. Hopefully, we'll have better numbers for you guys for the month of June, June's job report. Now, we move on to City Spotlight. Now, the reason why we have City Spotlight on our show is because we work in the real estate industry. So it totally makes sense for us to spotlight cities, right? I mean, that's like our profession, right, Wes? You would agree?
Absolutely.
All right, perfect. So today we would like to talk about the beautiful city of Villa Park. Yes. So I'm gonna give you little tidbits of Villa Park, and I'll let Wes throw in some great things about Villa Park. So Villa Park was initially established in 1962. Villa Park is also known as the Hidden Jewel. Yes, so you guys may not know that. There's about 2,050 homes in the city of Villa Park. 2,050 homes. Like West, 2,050 homes. I mean, wow. That's very small. In fact, Villa Park happens to be the smallest city in Orange County.
Wow.
Now, the average price for Villa Park is about 1.75. And when I say that, I mean $1.75 million. Yes, I know, right? Average days on market in Villa Park is about 36 days. And yeah, those are my little tidbits for Villa Park. And I'll let Wes share some interesting stuff about the city of Villa Park.
Yeah, so the median household income is up to 165,000. So that's almost double every other city we've looked at so far. And honestly, 165,000 seems like a little light to be able to afford to live in Villa Park.
I heard 1.75. Did I say 1.75?
Yeah, no, 165,000 though. That's the median household
Oh
income.
yes, yeah. I looked at that. I was like, interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so it seems a little light. I'm like, wow, you can afford Villa Park at 165,000 a year?
Plus your investments,
Yeah,
plus your
that too.
pension, plus yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
About
absolutely.
that.
So some of the things they actually do a lot for a little city. They have a lot going on. They have a tree lighting ceremony. They have a Halloween fest.
Halloween
They
fest.
have,
Yeah.
yeah, they have National Night Out. For those of you who don't know, that's kind of an event that happens in a lot of cities across America where they celebrate first responders, police, paramedics, people like
I
that,
love that.
firemen.
Let's give it a clap for that. I like that.
Yeah,
I have to bring that into Fullerton, man. We have to do that in Fullerton as well. We should do that. We should do that in every city. I like that.
yeah. They have the Taste of Villa Park. They also have concerts in the park. They have outdoor family movie night. They have a Villa Park. They have a pancake breakfast every year that the high school does. They have a car show. Interesting. They
Wow.
have a 10K, 5K run. They have a Villa Park picnic, which happens typically before Memorial Day. They have, this is pretty interesting, a 4th of July parade. 4th of
Wow.
July parade. Yeah. Yep. They have Marine Thanksgiving. I thought this one was really interesting. So they have a Marine Thanksgiving where basically you go down in a limo to Camp Pendleton, you pick up a Marine, you ride back to your house, and they have Thanksgiving dinner with you.
I love that. I love that. I may have to start that tradition myself.
Yeah. They also have a Santa tour on a fire truck. So Santa rides through the city on the fire truck, tossing candy canes for the kiddies. They have a dry land boat parade. So
A
you hook
dry
up your
land
boat to the,
boat parade. That sounds pretty
yep,
cool.
yeah, you hook up your boat to the back of your car and you just drive it through and everybody gets to see your boat.
Yeah.
And then also they have two elementary schools of their own. They also have a middle school and one high school, of course. Other than that, you are also still participating in the Orange Unified School District. But it was interesting to know that they do all these other things on their own because it's right next to Orange,
Mhm.
and Orange does a lot of these things. So you just figure they would just fall in and do what Orange does when Orange does it. They're like, no, we got our own thing.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing some knowledge about the city of Villa Park. And obviously, if you have any questions about Villa Park, whether you're looking to buy in Villa Park, maybe you're looking to sell your home in Villa Park, or invest in Villa Park, definitely feel free to reach out to us because we will get you covered and you have all those answers for all your questions. So, Villa Park, once again, and shout out to all the cool stuff they do for the military. We're big supporters of our military, so that's awesome. I love that. I love that. All right, guys. Now we move on to one of my favorite segments of our show, the West Files.
Yeah.
You
We can't give you guys the music, but you know what it sounds like.
know what it is.
Yeah, so today I thought it'd be a good day to remind people that finances are a team sport. And I'm speaking, if you're looking to buy a home with someone, and it doesn't have to be someone you're married to, it just be anybody, but for the most part, we're talking about people you're married to. Finances are a team sport because the finances that you are dealing with can have an impact on your ability to buy a home, and whatever your partner is dealing with can also have an impact on that. So, just to give an example, with government types of financing like FHA and VA, they treat your finances as one, like you're married to each other's finances. What does that mean? Well, typically, if your spouse is not going to be on the loan, their debts do not come into play. So like if you're talking about just a standard conventional mortgage, your spouse could have $150,000 in credit card debt, and as long as they're not on the loan, it'll have no impact on your ability to qualify. With types like FHA and VA, the government's like, no, you guys are married. That means your finances are married too. And that does make sense because in most cases, there's no way your spouse is going to have, those kind of debt obligations and it not impact your finances as well. So specifically what we're talking about with qualifying for a loan, there's basically three areas: your assets, your income, and your credit. So if you're the only person in the household that is generating income, there could be an issue if you have to qualify for a VA or FHA loan, if your partner doesn't generate income, but you have to include their debts, because now that has an impact on your debt to income ratio. Now, if we're talking about assets, that's important as well because it costs money to buy a home. So your down payment, closing costs, you have to save up for those things usually. Well, that's going to be a lot harder if you're saving and your partner's spending all the time.
Hey Wes, are you guys accepting Dogecoin yet?
No, not yet. Not yet.
I'm sure it's coming.
I'm sure it is actually. I'm sure it is. But basically if you're trying to save and your spouse is not trying to save and they're spending all the time, it's like putting water in a bucket with a hole at the bottom of it. And then lastly, of course, like the credit, if your spouse has a worse credit score than you, because a lot of people don't know this, if your spouse does decide to be on the loan with you, whoever has the lowest score between the two of you, that's the score we're going to have to use. So I've actually had quite often a situation where we had to leave the spouse off of the loan simply because they didn't have a high enough credit score. Because your credit score can have an impact on your rate, of course. So if you're taking care of your credit, you have a 780-point credit score, but your spouse has a 620-point credit score, that's going to be a pretty big difference on your rate. So all of those things, and we already talked about like what kind of debt they're carrying, what kind of debt they've committed to. So these are decisions that I have to make all the time with couples, where overall it puts them in a worse position for qualifying for the maximum amount possible, because you have one spouse where they're A paper as far as their financial situation, and the other spouse is like a C minus, and that has a big impact. So I would say have those conversations with each other. I know a lot of people who are married and have no clue what their spouse's credit score is, and in some cases have no clue what their spouse makes or what kind of debts they have. And if you're planning on buying a home together, those are things you kind of need to know and you should talk about so that you guys can make sure you're on the same page and that one is not, basically holding the other one back, and you guys can get the best possible loan, the best possible rate. And if one of you's doing much better than the other, then work on getting the other person up to your level. Help them level up, level up.
Level up, level up, level up, level up.
There we go.
Love that, Wes. So thank you for shedding light. Because you're not doing the game. Finances is a team sport. Speaking of in the news. All right. So in the news. Ooh, man, this is a tough one right here, man. All right.
You know where you're going.
Man, I'll let you start this one out.
Okay, so for those of you who were paying attention last night and who happen to be Laker fans, we got in We got an early exit from the playoffs, or as the fellows on TNT would put it, we've gone fishing.
Oh,
The loss of Anthony Davis was just too much to overcome. Um, I mean, the last
what
couple
about
games,
LeBron?
you got to have a team, man. Basketball's a team sport too.
That is true.
Yeah, and one great player is not going to be enough, especially against a team that is in sync and playing well. So you saw the difference in the games where Anthony Davis played, with exception to the first one. We won games 2 and 3 pretty handily, and then he got hurt again, and then we got blown out the last 2 games.
Hmm.
So, um, yeah, just was ugly. But hey, that's basketball. That's sports in general. You have injuries. You do the best you can to deal with them. So, like I said, unfortunately, we ended up going home, and this is the first time LeBron's been eliminated in the first round. Yeah. Now, what might make Laker fans feel a little better, we could see the Clippers be eliminated tonight as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, you could. I'll say this. I'll end it on this. You hear athletes say all the time, "Father Time is undefeated," and I'm telling you, he's got LeBron up against the ropes in the 10th round. That's all I'm gonna say.
Wow. Jeez. Yeah. I mean, I guess for me, it's just like it just kind of shows that we had a lot of holes. You know, what I mean,
Yeah.
that's exactly what this shows. I mean, you did say it's a team sport, right? And typically, when this occurs, you normally see a team come together, right? And to be able to fill in that spot. Obviously, we not fill it perfectly, but you know what I mean. But for us to lose that one key player, just kind of just let everything kind of just fall to shambles, and unfortunately, and that shouldn't happen. You know what I mean? But it did.
Well, what happens is I think people forget that when you have two great superstars like that, because LeBron and AD are two of the top 5 players in the league, right?
Yeah, easily.
So when you have two great players like that, what that means is that you're spending a lot of money on those players. And when you're spending a lot of money on those players, that means you have very little to spend in other areas. And so your team becomes heavily reliant on those players and their production. And not only that, but the impact that that person not being there has on everyone else. Because if you have an AD down low in the middle, teams have to double, teams have to pay attention. And now guys on the outside are getting easier shots and
Hmm.
they're making those shots easier. No AD, now they're playing everybody one on one. They're hounding you, and those guys aren't making those shots because they're not getting up open shots. Now, the other thing as well, and this is bigger than AD, because the other problem is both LeBron and AD spent a significant period of time during the season out. And so what that meant was you did not have your continuity. They did not have chemistry with the other players. And the coach didn't even really have his substitutions down. Because by the time you get in the playoffs, you got to know who you're going to and who's doing what. And it's hard to figure that out when your star players miss such a large chunk of the season. Because I think LeBron missed somewhere close to like 30 games. I think AD missed close to 30 games. We just got them back maybe the last week of the season,
Hmm.
and that's just not enough time. I mean, when you look at the difference between how well Phoenix played, they were a well-oiled machine because they played together. So like I said, it's just one of those things. But hey, ultimately, they are a good team, and they are a better team than the Lakers without without AD, without one of its star players. It just is what it is, you know.
Yeah. Well put, sir. Well put. Well put. So there's always next season. Just always thinking.
Yeah, we get to run it back.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, we look forward to it. 2022 will be there. 2022. That's it, right? I'm like 2022. Yeah, that's right. Yes,
Yep.
man. Yes, absolutely. All right, cool. So Wes, I know you want to share your experience that you had at California Adventure. So please elaborate.
Well, the unfortunate part was I was really excited about the fact that they were supposed to be opening the what they call the uh, Avengers campus today.
Hmm.
So first off, let me start here. You had people in line as early as 2 o'clock in the morning outside the park.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So once you got in there, the line for Avengers Land, first and foremost, to be able to even get on one of the rides, which I think is a Spider-Man ride, you had to win a lottery. They had two lotteries, one at 7, one at noon, right? And by the way, we were walking by as they were releasing the results of the lottery at noon. All of a sudden, you just hear people like cheering in random places, like yeah, so excited because they literally won the lottery to them.
Yeah.
But anyway, so to even get the land, okay, the campus, or what most people would call Marvel Land,
Hmm.
was filled to capacity at 9:20. By 9:20,
Yeah.
filled to capacity, with lines going back as far as a mile and doubling back for people wait on the waiting list. Yeah. So yeah, so long story short, I didn't make it to the Avengers campus. And I felt bad for a lot of the people because everyone was decked out in Avengers gear. People dressed as their favorite Avengers and whatnot. And most of those people are probably still in line right now in the standby line and not going to get there today.
Wow.
So yeah,
That's wild. So people were waiting in this line since 2 o'clock in the morning.
yeah, some
I
people.
I'm I don't know, man. I've never had that type of that willpower, I guess we'd call it. I mean, because seriously, it's gonna be there. It's not like it's disappearing. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
gonna be there. So, but yeah, man, that's wild. I mean, 2 o'clock, waiting 2 o'clock in the morning to get on a ride, and like you said, it's a lottery. So there's only going to be a small portion of people that actually get to ride it, and it only worked twice, right? One at 7 and one at noon.
Mhm.
So they had, oh wow, that's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was that. I don't know when I'll eventually make it to the campus. Maybe sometime next year. I don't know.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope you get it time then, man. Absolutely. Yes,
Yep.
absolutely. But besides that, though, how was your experience at California Adventure?
Everything else was everything else was good. You know, the one good thing about the whole Avengers campus is that it made a lot of the other rides, the lines a lot shorter, except for that what is it the Cars ride, the one with Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
That was like a 80-minute wait, so we didn't wait around for that one either. But everything else we got on, pretty quickly.
Okay, and they're not doing any type of fast pass, none of that stuff right now.
I did see Fast Pass for some lines. Like we
Oh,
were
okay.
in, there was some line for the Woody line for Toy Story,
Mm-hmm.
whatever ride that is. So I did see they did have some of the Fast Pass going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'll say this too: it wasn't as they weren't. I don't know if they were understaffed or whatever, but they weren't as I'll say diligent about the health, the health standards there, like making sure people are distanced and they weren't as on top of it as it was at Disneyland specifically.
Interesting. I mean, it's literally owned by the same that same owner, but so it was a little more relaxed at California Adventure as opposed to Disneyland.
Yeah, yeah,
Hmm,
yep,
interesting. Yeah.
yep.
Well,
So that was that.
yeah. Thank you for sharing. Like I said, I hope you get to go on the Marvel campus. I hope you you get a shot there, whether it's this year or next year for sure. So
Yeah, I'll make it there at some point. There's a reason I usually don't go to movie premieres. I'll be like, I'll wait till it dies down and just stay off of Twitter and all that.
yeah, exactly. Because that's where you get the spoilers, right? That's where the
Yeah.
person, oh yeah, at the end of the movie, yeah, this happens, and this. Like, wow, you just ruined it for me. Now I can't even watch the
Yep.
movie. You know?
Yep.
Yes. Yeah, man. So it is June 4th, 2021. This year's going by super quick. So we got planned this weekend.
Before we get to that, man, we got one other piece of news.
Oh, all right. Surprise. This is a surprise, people. Wes didn't even tell me about this. All right. So what we talking? What we dropping?
So let me tell you this. When I first saw this story, I had to go research because I thought it was like for sure, a joke, some kind of, fake news, whatever you want to call it. There was another lottery going on today.
Okay.
Yeah, there was another lottery going on today. So there were 15 winners today. There's a vaccine lottery going on.
Vaccine lottery, you say?
Yes. So for people who have been vaccinated, at least had one shot. 15 winners today. 15 people will win $50,000 today from the state of California.
Wow, I didn't know we had that kind of money to give away like that.
Yeah, now there's going to be another 15 next week. Here's the kicker, though. On June 15th, they will be choosing 10 people that will win 1.5 million each.
For per K, I don't understand why. I don't get it.
Well, the whole point behind it was to motivate as many people as possible to get the vaccine
So
prior
what about the
to.
other people that got it? So they just don't get anything?
You may still be eligible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you may still be eligible.
Wow. I mean, that just seems like
Yep.
Wow. That just seems like California's just throwing away a lot of money. I mean, I didn't know we had money like that. So 15 people today won $50,000.
Yes.
Wow. Wow.
One of those individuals was from Orange County. We don't know who they were, but yeah, one of them was from Orange County.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about that? I don't blame you. Yeah.
Unless they win the 1.5 million, then they're gonna be like, yeah.
Oh, that's the other side. Yeah. Wow, that is crazy. Okay, interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. Wow. Totally was not expecting that. So obviously, I guess they show all these people on the news who's winning.
No, they're gonna remain, I guess,
Anonymous.
anonymous. Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. You don't
Yeah.
want a bunch of people come to your house. Hey, didn't I lend you $1 20 years ago? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
with interest, man. You owe me $5,000. Wow, that's amazing. So the vaccine lottery. All right, perfect.
Yes, sir.
And you don't even have to buy a ticket. You didn't have to buy a ticket to compete in this one. Wow.
Well, the vaccine is buying your ticket. That's punching your ticket.
True. That is very true. That is very true. Yes. So the vaccine lottery. All right. So definitely got to keep my eye on that for sure. Absolutely. Perfect. So is there anything else, Wes? Any other secrets
No,
you're
that's
gonna
the
break
last
out
one.
on? That's the last secret.
That's the
All right.
last secret.
Perfect. Perfect. All right. So we got planned this weekend. What's happening this weekend?
I'm trying to think. Well, I think I'm gonna have to go do some get some paint samples.
Okay. Nice. You got a home improvement project. It sounds like, huh?
Yep.
Maybe do you have a what's that? You have a honey to do list? That's what it sounds like to me. You got a honey to do list. Yeah, I get it. I get it. We're part of the same club. Absolutely for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. Well, tomorrow is my
Yep.
birthday, so that's what I'm
Oh.
doing tomorrow. I got a birthday tomorrow. Yeah, we only have those once a year.
Okay.
So turning 30 tomorrow. So kidding with you, turning 37. Yeah, so you guys can apply to that. Thank you. Thank you so much. So yeah, man,
Well, happy
super
birthday. So,
excited.
would that make you a Gemini or something?
Yes, it does. The best zodiac sign in the world, man. The Gemini. Absolutely. You don't know what you're getting with us. I'm kidding. Yeah.
So, what are the plans for the birthday?
We'll probably go out to dinner. Most likely. I'm actually shooting videos with my team tomorrow morning, so I'll be doing that in the morning, shooting videos, and then later probably have dinner with the family, all that kind of good stuff. So, I mean, today was also National Donut Day. You know what I mean? So hopefully you guys got to chow down some donuts. I know I did. I think I at least finished a half a dozen myself. You know what I mean? So,
Wow.
but it's okay, Wes. It's all right, man. I this is my cheat weekend. Apparently, it's my birthday weekend, so I get to eat all the food I want and not gain a pound. What?
So, how many? So, how many shots of tequila tomorrow?
Oh man, I'm not a big fan of that, to be honest. Uh, I'm not sure. Not sure. Not sure. Not sure. It's been a while. It's been years actually since I sampled the stuff. So it's
Oh,
been a
okay. Well,
while.
you better take it easy then. You're
Yeah,
probably a
exactly.
lightweight now.
probably. I'll probably get down on like a Michelada or something. I'll probably do like a Michelada or something tomorrow. So
Okay, that'll work.
probably, probably something like that. Something like that. So
With a Don Julio topper.
ooh, okay, that sounds good. I think I have to order that. I like that. I
Yeah,
never had it like that before. I gotta try that out.
sure, it's good.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, if you guys are watching, you guys watch this later. Comment, what drinks do you think I should try tomorrow for my birthday since I'm turning the big 3-7. So make sure to comment on that. And again, thank you for your comments, likes, your shares, and always tune into our show. Really appreciate it. And we have the show here, but we also have the show on the podcast. So Spotify, Apple, Anchor, and several other hundred podcasts wherever you listen to. You can always check out Real Talk with Coach Q. And
brokerwes.
all right, guys, until next episode, see you on the next episode.